Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about success that nobody wants to hear. There are no Saturday soccer games, no Sunday family dinners, no comfortable weekends. Because while you're enjoying comfort, someone in China, in India, somewhere in the world is working to take your place. Have you ever wondered why success is such a lonely road? Why you see so few people at the top? Why most people settle for mediocrity? Because most people aren't willing to sacrifice everything for anything. The truth about following your dreams is raw and uncomfortable. It's a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you've got to be willing to risk everything to become what you believe is inside you. The Arabic of sacrifice. Let me tell you about James, a young entrepreneur who started with nothing but a dream. He sold his car, moved back with his parents, worked 18-hour days. His friends called him crazy. His family worried about him for 3 years. He missed every holiday, every celebration, every moment of comfort. Today, he runs a multi-million-dollar company. Was it worth it? Ask him and he'll tell you. The price of extraordinary is everything you think you can't give up. On the lonely highway, you know what's fascinating about success? It's an uphill battle, where you'll often see nothing but your own shadow. The path gets steeper, the air gets thinner, the crowd gets smaller. Think about a marathon runner at mile 20. Spectators are sparse, muscles are burning. Every step is a battle against giving up. That's where champions are made, not in the cheering crowds, but in the lonely miles. The sacrifice principle. Here is something most people don't understand about achievement. 8 out of 10 businesses fail. Most entrepreneurs fail 3 times before succeeding.
The average overnight success takes 15 years. Why? Because success demands everything. Not just your time, not just your energy, but your comfort, your relationships, your certainties. The ultimate test. Want to know what separates dreams from reality? Doing what you hate like you love it.
Pushing your limits when comfort calls, denying yourself what you desire most. I remember talking to an Olympic athlete. She hadn't taken a vacation in 6 years. Trained through injuries, missed her sister's wedding. Was it extreme? Yes. Was it worth it? She has gold medals that say it was. The preparation price. Let me tell you about the butterfly. If you help it emerge from its cocoon, you kill it. The struggle isn't just part of the process, minus it is the process. That struggle builds the strength to fly. Your challenges aren't obstacles to success. They're the building blocks of success. The transformation journey. Consider a rocket launch. It burns 80% of its fuel just breaking free from Earth's gravity. The hardest part isn't the journey to the stars. It's breaking free from what holds you down. Similarly, your biggest battle isn't reaching your goals. It's breaking free from your comfort zone, the path hagen. You're standing at a crossroads. One path offers comfort, balance, and mediocrity. The other demands everything but promises extraordinary, your sacrifice declaration. Stand up, right now. Feel the weight of everything you must give up. Now make this declaration. I choose the hard path. I accept the lonely road. I embrace the sacrifice because extraordinary demands everything. The final truth. Success isn't just about what you are willing to do. It's about what you are willing to give up. Remember this: while others sleep, you work. While others party, you practice. While others quit, you persist. Your journey to extraordinary begins now. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now make your sacrifice count, because extraordinary, it's not just what you achieve. It's what you become in the process. The price of extraordinary is everything. Are you willing to pay it? Thank you. Would you like me to expand further on a particular aspect or add more specific examples? The brave beast of isolation. Let me tell you about Michael, a software developer who had a vision. His friends invited him to parties. Minus he declined. Family called for visits. Minus he couldn't make it. Weekends. What weekends? For 2 years, his world was nothing but code. His apartment became his office. His computer became his companion. People called him obsessed. Maybe they were right. But today his op serves millions. Was the isolation worth it? He'll tell you, loneliness is the tax you pay for being ahead of your time. The dark moments. Nobody talks about the 3 a.m. doubts. When you are alone with your thoughts, questioning everything. When your bank account is empty but your dream demands more. When your family asks, maybe it's time to get a real job. These moments aren't just tests. They're filters. They separate the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the warriors. The Untold cost. Here's what they don't tell you about success. They cost you relationships. Some friends will drift away, some family members won't understand. Think about a mountain climber ascending Everest. The higher they climb, the thinner the air becomes. The same happens with success. Minus the higher you go, the fewer people can breathe at your altitude. The sustenance mindset. Want to know the real difference between those who make it and those who don't? It's not talent. It's not opportunity. It's the ability to embrace discomfort as a friend. Every morning, warriors wake up and ask, what comfort can I sacrifice today? The price of innovation. Remember Steve Jobs? Kicked out of his own company. Considered a failure. But in those dark years, he built something new. Something extraordinary. Innovation demands isolation. Intuition requires separation. You can't create the future while clinging to the present. This isn't question. Ask yourself this. What would you give up to have what most people only dream about? Your weekends, your vacations, your relationships? Because here is the truth. Extraordinary success demands extraordinary sacrifice. The power of purpose. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother. 3 jobs, studying at night. Had some men told her to settle, to be realistic. But she had a purpose bigger than her pain, a vision bigger than her circumstances. Today, she's a leading surgeon. Was it hard? Point words. Was it worth it? Ask the lives she saves every day. Define a commitment. Stand up again. Think the weight of every comfort you must sacrifice. Every relationship that might fade. Every normal thing you must give up. Now declare, if I choose extraordinary over ordinary, I choose purpose over comfort. I choose legacy over luxury because greatness demands everything, and I am willing to pay the price. The truth. Success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you become through sacrifice, through isolation, through persistence. While others choose comfort, you choose growth. While others choose security, you choose risk. While others choose ordinary, you choose extraordinary. Your journey continues now. Every sacrifice brings you closer. Every lonely moment makes you stronger. Every comfort you deny shapes your destiny. Remember, the path to extraordinary is paved with sacrifices others aren't willing to make. Are you ready to pay the price? Are you willing to walk the lonely path? Are you prepared to sacrifice everything for something greater? The choice is yours. But remember, extraordinary lives are built on extraordinary sacrifices. Make your choice count, because your destiny, it's waiting on the other side of everything you are willing to give up. Thank you. Would you like me to continue with more specific strategies for handling sacrifice and isolation? Or would you prefer deeper insights into particular aspects I've covered? Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. Do you want to get well? And I mean really well. Because here is the truth about courage that most motivation speakers won't tell you. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it.
And the biggest courage you'll ever need isn't facing your enemies, isn't facing your critics. It's facing yourself in the mirror every single morning. Have you ever had that moment, that raw, honest moment, where you looked yourself in the eye and said, I let me down? Because that's where real change begins.
Not in the motivation quotes you post on Instagram, not in the self-help books collecting dust on your shelf, but in that brutal moment of self-truth. The mirror moment. Here is the brutal truth, and it might sting. It's easier to blame someone else than to get honest with yourself. I hear it all the time. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm the only black person in my industry. I'm the only woman in the room. Ezan's got a story about why they can't. But today we're going to do something different.
We're going to learn why your story, yes, your story, is the only thing standing between you and greatness. The victim's exit will listen carefully, because this might be the most important thing you'll hear today. Life is one big head game, and you're playing it with yourself.
When you let excuses live in your head rent-free, you've already lost the game before it even starts. Think of your mind like a house, minus a beautiful house with unlimited potential. But every excuse you make, every story you tell yourself about why you can't, as another lock to the door trapping you inside. You are not just the prisoner minus, you are the prison builder. Let me tell you about Marcus. He came to me, broke, divorced, living in his car. His story. I'm a victim of the system, but here's what changed everything. One day, he looked in the mirror and said, no, I'm a victim of my own excuses. Today, he owns 3 successful businesses. Action Cali number 1. I want you to start what I call your excuse autopsy. Write down every single excuse you've used this week. Every single one. Next to each one, write these words. This is a story I choose to stop telling. The mirror truth want to know what separates winners from losers. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even opportunity. Winners win, and losers lose. I can't explain it any simpler than that. It's like gravity minus, it just is. Like a garden, what you cultivate grows. If you cultivate excuses, you grow limitations. If you cultivate action, you grow success. If you cultivate stories about why you can't, guess what grows? More reasons why you can't. I remember meeting Sarah, a single mother with 3 kids and 2 jobs. She had every excuse in the book to stay where she was. But every morning she looked in the mirror and asked herself one question. Am I giving my dreams 120% today? Action number 2. Doing your mirror sessions. Each morning I want you to look yourself in the eye. Really look yourself in the eye and ask, am I giving myself 120% or am I letting me down? The self-punishment protocol. Now this might sound harsh, but hear me out. If you are only giving 50%, you owe yourself an explanation. Not your boss, not your family, you. Because you are the one who has to live with the consequences of your half-hearted efforts. Consider a parent disciplining a child. Sometimes, tough love is necessary for growth. Sometimes, no is the most loving word you can say. Be that parent to yourself. Be tough when you need to be tough. Action trailed number 3. Quote, tone as your accountability. Write down specific consequences for not giving your full effort. Then, and this is crucial, enforce them. No excuses, no negotiations. The story belt here is the $1 million truth. The only thing stopping you from getting what you want in life is the story you tell yourself about why you can't have it. That's it. That's the whole game. Your past trauma, your dysfunction, your abuse. They're chapters in your book, not the conclusion. You gotta write the ending. You gotta change the narrative. The path to right now, you are standing at a crossroads. One path is paved with excuses. Mine is comfortable, familiar, and leading absolutely nowhere. The other path, it demands brutal honesty with yourself. It requires you to look in the mirror and say, no more stories. I remember these eternal truths. Excuses sound best to those making them. Winners win. Losers make excuses. Your story only has power if you keep telling it. Feinek added. The truth teller's declarations stand up. Right now. Yes, right now, look in the mirror. Or use your phone's camera if you have to. Look yourself in the eye and make this declaration with me. I'm done letting myself down. I'm done making excuses. I'm done being a victim today. I choose to be a victor. Buy our story killing moment in the comments below. Let's build an unstoppable community of truth tellers who understand that excuses are just stories. We tell ourselves to stay comfortable because comfort is the enemy of greatness. Remember this. It's time to wake up, get off the pity potty, and take life to another level. Your excuses or your dreams, you can't have both. Together we face truth, together we kill excuses, together we prove that victory belongs to those who stop telling stories and start taking action. Your transformation starts now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Now make your mirror proud. The world is waiting for your story to end and your legacy to begin. Let me tell you something else that might shake you to your core. Every excuse you make today is a deposit into your future regret account, and that account, it compounds interest. The accountability revolution listens carefully because this might transform your entire perspective. Your excuses are protecting you. They're imprisoning you. They're not keeping you safe. They're keeping you small. I met a woman named Jennifer last year, Harvard-educated, brilliant mind, endless potential. But she had what I call the golden handcuffs common. Her excuse. I make too much money to quit my soul-crushing job.
For 10 years, she told herself that story. Then one day, she did something radical. She wrote her excuse on a piece of paper, went to her bathroom mirror, and burned it. Right there. That very day, she handed in her resignation. Today, she runs a 7-figure business helping other women break free from their golden handcuffs. Action challenge. Hash 4. Create your excuse cremation ceremony.
I mentored down your biggest excuse. The one that's held you back the longest. Hell, burn it. Yes, literally burn it. Watch your limitation turn to ashes. The mirror's wisdom here is something profound about mirrors that most people miss. They don't judge, they don't lie, and they don't make excuses. They simply reflect what's there. But here is the $1 million question. When you look in the mirror, are you seeing what's really there, or are you seeing the story you've told yourself about what's there? Think about David Goggins, Navy, SEAL, ultra-marathon runner, world record holder. But he started as a 300-pound pest exterminator with every excuse in the book. His mirror moment, looking at himself and saying, "You are a liar. You've been lying to yourself your whole life." Action Amory number 5. Going your reality check sessions. Every night, spend 5 minutes in front of the mirror asking yourself, what lie did I tell myself today? What excuse did I hide behind? The Excellence Protocol. Now, let me share something that might revolutionize your thinking. Acceptance isn't an act, it's a habit, and excuses. They're also a habit. You're either building one or the other. Every time you make an excuse, you are programming your brain for mediocrity. Every time you face the truth, you are programming it for excellence. I want you to understand something fundamental. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a good excuse and a bad one. It just knows you are training it to find ways out instead of ways through. Action number 6. Start your excellence log. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, you owe yourself 20 push-ups. Right there, right then. No excuse is the power of now. Let's do something radical right now. Awesome men, stand up. Yes, right now. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I declare war on my excuses. I divorce my stories. I marry my potential. From this moment forward, I choose truth over comfort. Because here is the reality that most people never grasp. And her potential is like a muscle, minus it grows stronger when you push against resistance. But your excuses, they're like cancer. They multiply when you feed them. The final truth, remember this. The world doesn't care about your excuses. Success doesn't care about your past. The only person who cares about your excuses is you. And that's the problem. You've been caring for them, nurturing them, protecting them. But they haven't been protecting you. They've been protecting your mediocrity. So let me ask you one final time. Are you ready to get well? Splash as well. Because getting well means getting honest, a fact, and honest means getting uncomfortable. And getting uncomfortable, that's where the magic happens, your excuses or your dreams. Honest, the choice is yours, but you can't have both. Together we rise, together we grow, together we transform. Now go forth and make your mirror proud, because the person staring back at you, that's not just your reflection, mindset's your revolution waiting to happen. The time for excuses is over. The time for truth is now. The time for action is here. Thank you, and remember, your greatest excuse is just your greatest victory, waiting to be born. This continuation maintains the passionate, direct speaking style while diving deeper into the psychological aspects of making excuses and facing truth. It combines powerful metaphors with actionable steps and emotional triggers to keep the audience engaged and motivated.
Opening hook, picker this, you are drowning, not in water but in life itself. Every instinct screams, give up? Now here is a voice deeper than fear, stronger than doubt that whispers, learn to swim. Have you ever noticed how we all want mental toughness, but we look for it in comfortable places? That's like trying to find fire in an ice cube. Let me tell you something that might change your life. Your mind must be stronger than your feelings. The comfort trap here is a truth that most people never understand. Every poor decision you've ever made had more emotion involved than mind. Think about it. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you to get up. Your feelings seek comfort. Your mind demands growth. And today we're going to learn how to make your mind the master. Main conch 1. The storm principle. Most people wait for life to create their storms. Champions, they create their own. Story illustration. Think of a young eagle. The mother eagle deliberately disturbs the nest, making it uncomfortable. Why? Because she knows comfort kills, pressure builds strength. Actionable number 1. Actionable number 1. Each day deliberately do something that makes you uncomfortable. Start small, but start today. The Band-Aid method. Here is something powerful about growth. Here is no gentle way to transform. You either rip off the Band-Aid or you stay wounded. Story illustration. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, the struggle is essential. If you help it out, it dies. The resistance builds the strength it needs to fly. Action Afri number 2. Make your fear list. Write down everything that scares you. Then start checking them off one by one. 3. The motion mandate. On days when you are tired, worn out, sick of the grind, go anyway. When you don't feel like working out, work out. When you don't want to get up, get up. Story illustration. Think of a train. It doesn't wait for motivation to move. It moves and momentum follows. Action gravity number 3. Start the motion before emotion. Practice. Every morning, do the right thing before you feel like doing it. 4. The mind's dominion. Your mind must be your master. Every time you choose mind over emotion, you build mental strength. Remember, the immediate gratification monkey will always whisper in your ear. Your job is to shut that door. The path that you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to temporary comfort, the slow death of potential. The other leads through self-created storms, the birth of strength.
Remember, comfort is the enemy of growth. Action precedes motivation. Mind must master emotion. Final challenge. The warrior's choice. Stand up right now. Feel your feelings trying to keep you comfortable. Now, make this declaration. I choose mind over emotion. I choose growth over comfort. I choose strength over safety. Share your self-created storm in the comments below.
Let's build a community of warriors who understand that mental strength isn't found minus it's forged. Remember, the size of your success will be determined by the strength of your mind. Together we strengthen, together we grow, together we prove that mental toughness isn't inherited. It's earned. Your transformation begins now. Make your mind proud.